pedest. And I just love how he turns that on its head. Doesn't matter if you believe in God, God believes in you. And of course today, what I want to talk about is not some God out there that's believing in you, but the part of you in here that never abandoned you. The part of you in here that is love, that is the oneness, that is part of everything. If that part of you believes in you, then you always have, as Niccolo Amadora says, a lifelong love affair. If you love that which is in you, then you can never be abandoned or betrayed unless you do it. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is making friends with ourselves. This is a Buddhist concept: loving kindness, self-compassion, friendliness, courteousness, a deepest and a steadfast joy. So what I want to bring to your attention, maybe it's not you, maybe it's just me, but I talk to myself in ways that I would not talk to my daughter, my mother, my best friend. I talk to myself at times in ways that I would not talk to a stranger on the street. Now, I've gotten a lot better about that over the years, and mostly what that means is I'm more aware of when I do it, so I can say, whoops, stop, that's inappropriate. Not, you're bad, that's inappropriate. What is the truth here? What is the truth here? This is a quote by Pema Chodron, who was a beautiful Buddhist teacher. She says, "My teacher said that making friends with myself meant seeing everything inside me. Seeing it. And not running away or turning my back on it. Because that's what real friendship is. You don't turn your back on yourself and abandon yourself, just the way you wouldn't give up on a good friend when their darker sides begin to show up. When I became friends with my body, my mind, and my transient emotions, and when I was able to settle comfortably into myself more and more, and remember this takes time," she says, "then staying in the present moment in all situations became more possible for me to do." So if you were to treat yourself as you would treat a friend, you don't abandon a friend when they're in need. You come to a friend when a friend is in need. You put your arms around them. You say, what is it that you need? Truly, how can I help you? Imagine if that were the way you treated yourself all the time. So I'm going to talk about something I kind of made up today. It's called the law of friendship. The law of friendship. Listen. Accept, and then wish only for wholeness. If you truly love someone, you listen to them. You spend time with them. And so if you want to know how to truly love yourself, how to be friends with yourself, first you got to get to know you, right? How do you get to know you? You listen. You listen, and when you hear something you don't like, you don't run off. And you certainly don't beat yourself up about it. You just listen. Listen to your body. What is your body telling you? Listen to your body and attend to it as if it were a child that you were in charge of. Because guess what? It kind of is. So what is it that you need? An example of this is I am standing in front of the refrigerator with a craving in my body. I think that's what I need. But if I can ask myself, what's really going on here? Are you hungry? Maybe the answer is yes. Or maybe it's, no, I just got a very upsetting phone call and I'm trying to comfort myself. And then I can show up for myself in a different way. You know what, Melinda? Don't really need whatever is in the refrigerator, and you don't even really want it. What you want is comfort. What do we need? How can we find comfort right now? And then I can look for a way to do that. But I have to listen to my body, because sometimes when we're out of our minds, it's because we're out of our bodies. We're hungry, we're angry, we're lonely, we're tired, we've been hurt deeply, and we don't even know it. Because we're so much in our minds, we're not paying attention to our bodies. So listen to your body. This is a law of friendship. And listen to your mind. Sometimes it'll be sane, sometimes open-hearted. Sometimes you will look in your mind and think, God, I'm a good person. Other times you will look in your mind and the voices are messed up, bewildered, maybe mean. Maybe there's even a little bit of cruelty. Mostly what we are is confused. But if we run away, we'll never find out about that. Which means we'll keep being it and feeling it and doing it and acting from that place. But if we're listening, what is my mind trying to tell me? Not so I can condemn it, but so I can go, what's really going on here? And own my part. And my part, as we talked about last week, is a false belief. Every time we act out, every time anyone acts out, I believe this in my very soul, it's because they don't understand who they are. They don't understand their own worth. And does that go for people who are self-aggrandizing? Yes, it goes for them more than others. Because only from a deep, deep pit of unworthiness would a need for, everybody look at me, I'm better than anybody else in the world, arise. Because you know what? The people who really are better than anyone else don't need to say anything because everyone else sees it. So if you hear someone saying it, it's very annoying. But you can go, okay, that arises from some really, really deep unworthiness. And so if you see yourself doing it, you get to know, okay, what is this unworthiness that's going on within me? I'm just going to listen to it. I'm going to listen to it. And I'm going to tell myself the truth. That's not the truth of you. That's not the truth of you. What is the truth of you? So I have to listen. I have to listen to my emotions. I have to listen to my spirit. I have to listen to my body, listen to my mind. And you know what? That's what you would do for a friend. You listen to them. That's how you get to know them. If they're hungry, you feed them. If they're not, you ask, what else can I do for you? Accept. So listen is the first letter of the law. Accept is the second letter of the law. Accepting whatever shows up as you listen. It's just what is. It doesn't magnify just because you noticed it. It didn't suddenly appear just because you noticed it. And it's not going away because you go, oh, I didn't see that, and run away. Or eat, or drink, or work out, or whatever it is that is driving you to avoid the present moment, or get lost in a computer game, or watch Netflix, or whatever. You have to accept this is what is without judgment. Look at it all and stay neutral. Y'all, this takes practice. It takes practice, I promise you. But the truth is, no matter how ugly it is in there, everyone else is exactly the same on the inside. And then when we begin to look at ourselves without judgment, to listen without judgment, then we begin to trust ourselves. Because you know what? Why would you come out and admit your faults to yourself if you know that yourself is just going to beat you up for admitting them? Right? We have to give space. We have to give space. It's okay for me to see this within myself. I don't like it. I wish I didn't have it. But I'm going to resist for the moment labeling it good or bad. I'm going to say, self, would you look at that? And I simply accept it. Watch it. That in itself can neutralize it. Then I might have some thoughts about it. I might have some behavior around it, but it won't be unconscious behavior from that place. It will be conscious behavior around how to heal that place. And it starts with acceptance. And then W, simply wishing well. What do you no matter what your friend is, what's happening with a friend in the world, you wish them well. Whether they're doing something for you or they're doing something on their own, you want only wholeness for them. You want them to be well, to live well, to have a good life. And so, what if you did that for yourself? if we really, really wish ourselves whole, okay, we accept everything, we accept the whole of it, good, bad, confused, whatever. And then we have to, another W, watch our language, right? Watch your language with yourself. I've shared this story before that years ago, and this was really sort of my awakening to this thing about self-love, which I am working on and have been working on for years and still will be working on for years. And sometimes couching it in the terms of self-friendliness is easier. And one Saturday morning, I woke up and I turned to my husband and he looked at me and he said, "You're so beautiful in the morning." And I said, inside my head, not out loud, I said, "Yeah, I feel like fat cows with bad hair." I've probably said that a million times before, but that day I heard myself say it. And another part of me went, "Now you don't believe that, do you?" And that part that had called me that said, "Yeah, I kind of do." It's like, well, we need to do something about that then. No matter how you feel about yourself, you're not allowed to talk about yourself like that anymore. And every time you do, I'm going to catch you and I'm going to stop you. The voices in my head. I have more than two. Sometimes there's a whole committee in there. But the point is, I become aware of how I'm using language. In the same way I wouldn't cuss out a friend or tell a friend that showed up late, "You know, you're a horrible person. If you wanted to get here on time, you could have just left 10 minutes earlier, but no, you cut it down to the wire, and then you're in a traffic jam, and here you are late again." Do you say that to your friend when she's 10 minutes late? Probably not. If you do, you probably don't have many friends. But do you say it to yourself when you're 10 minutes late? Yeah? Maybe not. Maybe you're beyond that. But that's the idea, is that we start to watch our language. We start to notice what it is. That's part of the listening. It's part of the acceptance. I know that I'm doing this. And I'm not going to call myself bad for doing it. I'm just going to say, I love this word, inappropriate. Yeah, that doesn't work. Yeah, it's not working for you, Melinda, so let's do something else. Let's try some kindness. Unconditional friendship with yourself. What does that mean? Think about that. Unconditionally friendly with yourself. Nothing that you do is going to make yourself hate yourself, sit yourself in a corner, beat yourself up, or otherwise punish yourself. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Does that mean that I just condone anything I do? Does that mean I just indulge myself all the time? Do I get to be selfish? Do I get to do whatever I want to do? No. In the same way that if you were caring for a child, you would not allow that child to indulge itself, to be selfish, to be whatever, cruel. Not because it hurts the world, but because it wouldn't be good for the child. And so you gently teach it. Now here's how we respond in this situation. We share. That's what we do. What if you just did that to yourself when you have the I, me, my going on? You know what? I don't like this greed in myself. But I'm not going to beat myself up. I am going to say, perhaps we should work on some skills about sharing, Melinda. Treat yourself like a kindergartner. It actually works sometimes. It's better than cussing yourself out. I promise you. So it's not joyless. It's not about punishing yourself. It's not about any kind of aggression. It's not about catching yourself. I wasn't friendly. Darn it. Here I go again. No, it is about loving as a child. So what does that mean? What is self-care? What is self-love? Is it a bubble bath? Is it a cake? Is it a workout? Well, it depends. It depends on you. Are you working out because you have come to a place where you truly accept that that is the thing that is most needed for you to live, for you to, if you're wishing yourself well and whole, for you to be well and whole? Or is it a way that you are avoiding thinking about something else that cropped up? Is it a bubble bath? Maybe. Maybe you've checked in with yourself and you're listening and what you are is tired and sore and you just need to chill for a little bit. But if what you really need in order to be well and whole is to finish the project that you promised you would finish, then maybe it's not time for a bubble bath. So see, it's not about doing a thing or not doing a thing. It's not about a massage or not a massage, or a workout or not a workout, or a piece of cake or not a piece of cake, or baking a loaf of bread when you're all alone at home or not. That's a dilemma I had on Friday. Bob's gone for the weekend. I just wanted bread. I wanted fresh bread so bad. It's like I could just bake a loaf of bread. And then I would eat that loaf of bread. If Bob's home, at least I can only eat half the loaf of bread. So I made up my mind. So I was like, is it being kinder to myself to give myself what I want? I really want some bread, and I'm not going to judge myself for that. Or is it kinder to go, no bread for you, Melinda? Well, the kindness was in going, I don't really trust you, Melinda, to not eat the whole loaf of bread, so let's wait. It's not a no, it's a wait. Patience. Patience is probably the most important word on the spiritual path. So it depends. And how will you know? You'll know because you know yourself. You've made friends with yourself, and you're listening to yourself. That's how you'll know. If you're not listening to yourself, if you haven't made friends, if you're judging before you get the information, then you will never know what is self-love and what is not. Which is why listen has to happen first, then accept, and then decide what brings wellness and wholeness to you. Judgment is a habit. It is a very deeply ingrained habit. And it makes me think of this Gary Larson cartoon years ago, The Far Side. So these two women in beehives and glasses peeking out the window out of the curtains. And there's like this large, hairy, disgusting, drooling monster at the door. And one of them saying to the other, Gladys, I know it's a large, scary, disgusting monster, but what if it's a large, scary, disgusting monster that needs help? What if? What if all this in here that you've been judging is just a large, hairy, disgusting monster that needs your help? That is calling out for your love. Because we call out, as the poem says, for someone else to love us so that we can know we're worthy. And I can tell you, it doesn't work. That morning that I called myself those names, I had been living with a man who told me I was beautiful for probably 20 years. Close to that. So someone else telling me you're beautiful every day doesn't have an effect on me unless I choose to believe it. Unless I choose to take it in. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. It matters what I say to myself. It matters what you say to yourself. So you're never going to find it out there. It's always only ever in here. It's an inside job. It's an inside job. So when I say God believes in you, what I mean is your highest self knows who you are. And your ego's running about and playing in the muck. And if you sit it down, not judge it, just go, oh, okay, little ego, we're going to sit in our circle now. Little ego people, we're going to sit in our circle now and we're going to listen. Take the time to listen. Make friends, play the hokey pokey. And be directed by your higher self. That is what will bring you to wellness and wholeness. That is unconditional friendliness. And another thing that Pema Chodron, who I've been reading a lot of her stuff lately, says, she says, I've known people who have meditated for 25 years and are still miserable. How can you develop a sincere, deep meditation practice for 25 years and still be miserable? I'll tell you how. By being goal-oriented, by doing it because you think you should, by doing it so that you can prove to yourself that you can do it right or better than other people. All kinds of things. You can do that. But what is called for is if you're going to sit in meditation because you want to improve yourself, that only happens with love. It's like training a puppy. Now, if you scream at a puppy and you spank it, you hit it and you scare it, it may learn the command that you're teaching it, but it will also learn that you are not trustworthy trustworthy, it will learn to be neurotic and afraid. If you have a puppy and you train it with the same commands with kindness and reward, and noticing when it does a good job, and giving it praise, then you will have a puppy who obeys that command and loves and trusts you and wants to learn more from you. Feed your inner puppy. Take care of yourself as if you were taking care of a puppy or a kindergartner. That's the best way that I know how to speak of it. So, is there a payoff? Is there a payoff to loving yourself? Well, here it is. Peace, serenity, living life on life's terms, not being in frustration or anger mode all the time, being able to sit alone in a room and know that nothing is missing. Nothing is missing. Doesn't mean you can't be with other people. It means that when you are with other people, you have your whole self to give. Your whole self. Because you haven't hidden parts of you in the corners, calling them unacceptable. You've brought them out into the light so that they can be healed. So you accept all of your humanity, everything it means to be human. And you cannot do that. You cannot practice that for any length of time without also beginning to understand all of humanity. All of my humanity is the same as all of humanity. And a practice that I can do is when we've talked about tongue blend before, where you breathe in the problem or the trouble or the suffering or the hurt, and then you breathe out comfort and love. You breathe out love. So when you're feeling, oh, here I am, I'm jealous again, I hate that when I'm feeling this way, you know what? Breathe in your jealousy. Get to know it. And if you want to, breathe in everybody else's jealousy. Everybody around the world has had exactly the same emotion at some time. Breathe it all in. And then send love to it. Can't get it to go away by beating it. You can get it to go away by just loving. By just going, yeah, that's not working for you, hon, so let's do something different. I love you. I love you. And if you fall again, we'll keep coming back here. We'll just keep loving. We'll just keep loving. Can you treat yourself like that? Can you treat yourself the way you would treat your best friend? Because I tell you what, you are your best friend. You're certainly your closest friend. So this is, when we do this, when we extend only love to ourselves, that brings us ultimate peace. And in Eastern terms, what that means is we cease to create harm. Every time you say a harm word to yourself, you are creating karma that you're going to have to work off. So when you cease causing harm, you cease having to work off karma. So think about that. How can I be harmless in this world, starting with myself? I encourage you to do it, and I know that you can. Be your own BFF. Let's take that into meditation. So, I'm going to start with a poem by John Wellwood. Forget about enlightenment. Sit down wherever you are and listen to the wind singing in your veins. Feel the love, the longing, the fear in your bones. Open your heart to who you are right now, not who you would like to be, not the saint you are striving to become, but the being right here before you, inside you, around you, right here, right now. All of you is holy. You are already more and less than whatever you can know. Breathe out, touch in, let go. It's just an opportunity right now to sit quietly for a moment. Just be in yourself. drawing our attention to the breath can allow us to slow down for a minute. Relax your eyes and your jaw and your shoulders and your belly. And when you feel relaxed and you're simply breathing out and breathing in, not trying to do any particular thing, I invite you to this statement. Here I am. Here I am. And who I am is enough. Who I am is a being of love. And with being human means taking on a body and an ego and all that stuff. And that's exactly as it's supposed to be. Breathe in deeply again. Here I am, and I get to choose. Whether to be kind or unkind. You don't get points for kindness to others if you can't be kind to yourself. Well, you don't get points anyway. This was been repeating in my head this week, this idea that I love, that I see on signs, and that makes me feel good every time. My friend Julie Gold wrote a beautiful song about it called Love is Love is Love. Is love is love. Oh, and that's true on so many levels, in so many ways. Love is love. The love of a mother for a child. The love of a boy for his dog. The love of a sister for a brother. The love of a wife for her wife. A husband for his husband. A wife for her husband. A love of siblings. A love of parents. It's all love, expressed in different ways, but it's all love. Your love for yourself. Love is love is love is love is love. It's all love. Consider for a moment. Hate is hate. Also. Hating, loving makes you a lover. Hating makes you a hater. Even if it's yourself that your hatred is directed at. Or anyone outside you. In this moment, I'm asking you, whatever it is inside you that's judging yourself as less than. Say, I'm going to look at you, we're going to talk. You know, you're still welcome here. I accept you. I'll listen to you. But you are not in charge. Because this body is a household of love. Breathe in that love. Feel it in your body. Love in your feet. Love in your legs. in your fingers, your hands. Love as your voice. Love beating your heart. Love seeing through your eyes. Love hearing through your ears. Given and received.